been asked for your documents. Please produce them without delay. Please report any suspicious activity to your nearest peacekeeping officer. A vigilant population is a safe population.
Hello, Troubleshooters. You may call me Friend Computer because I am your friend. You can trust me.
Our scene opens with a frozen scene before us. The infected is lunging out towards Frank, who is holding the circular saw. But the scene is frozen, and we find the camera kind of circling around everyone to see how the scene is set up. So if everyone would describe your characters again for the audience and tell us what it looks like they're about to do or about to try. What does it look like they're gearing up for in this moment?
Hank, about 5'10", brown hair, brown eyes, clean shaven, average build. He's lingering at the back, and he sees the scene unfold before him. He's kind of recoiling, and you can see him kind of take a step and turn his hips as if to leave the situation and let it sort itself out.
Brad is 5'11". He's average build, looks like aged Woody Harrelson from True Detective, receding hairline. He's probably just a little bit in front of Hank, kind of his legs kind of spread in a defensive stance and his hands kind of put outward. In a perfect world, he would be behind Hank and pushing him into the room, but he'll just have to bear with that for now.
Brad, number 2. I realized I forgot to put my pen. Oh, you can't see them. I forgot to put my pens in my pocket, so I'll be doing that. He's a nerdy looking guy, thin, 30s, wearing thick glasses, bit of a neck beard thing going on. He's otherwise pretty much nondescript. He's there's like a frozen reaction of horror upon his face, and Brad's think alike. He's probably thinking about pushing Hank in front of but also doing the same kind of thing of like starting to like run away.
Frank is at the front of the pack. It's about 6 feet tall. He is all beaten down and scarred up from a life of doing very hard labor jobs, and has a sort of terrifying fearlessness with the saw that is just pure adrenaline.
Tina is behind Frank and absolutely she's a sassy woman who really she's pretty tired going into this, just like waking up and realizing she doesn't have time for a lot of what's going on and doesn't want to really deal with it, and is just trying to get through all of this as easily as she can, and is in that moment seeing this thing launch out at Frank in the middle of swearing a big swear word.
Wonderful. Now, this is going to matter greatly. I need everyone to roll a d6.
A 1 again.
5.
Okay.
6.
3.
Interesting. So.
Maniacal laughter is always a good thing for players.
Generally speaking, if I roll well, you need to roll low, and if I roll poorly, you need to roll high. So I'm prepared for whatever's coming.
You're getting the saw, buddy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's how it's going to happen. Yeah, that's fine.
That is absolutely what is going on right now.
No.
What happens as this scene unfreezes, like the camera spins all the way around this scene, sees everybody, sees their reactions to this infected bursting out of this nutrients center. As soon as it unfreezes, it is a mass of sound. You have the sound of the infected snarling as it's coming out. One strange, like, surprised sound from Hank as he is being grabbed and just flung. You hear the footsteps of people sprinting away. You hear the curse word coming from Tina's mouth. And then you hear the saw grinding into something, and blood starts spraying all over the white hallway. And as soon as this one moment stops, Hank's body slumps down to the floor, dead. And the infected looks over and is gonna lunge for Frank. So, Frank, give me another one of those attack rolls.
That one, I got 2 successes on the attack and a 4 on the computer die.
Okay, lunges towards you, and there's this moment of like realizing these things aren't wise. It's going to bear hug you as you're holding the saw up, and it does. It like you feel the arms kind of wrap around you as the saw is just like digging into the center of it. More blood is spraying up everywhere. More curse words from Tina. The Brads have run away and are like on either side of the hallway, just watching this event happen. And finally, that body slumps down, and everything is quiet again. Frank, you are covered in blood. The hallway is covered in blood. And the scene is yours.
I'm just going to turn around and kind of address everybody and go, all right, good news, bad news. What do you want first?
I mean,
Way to go. It's a 2 for 1.
I mean, my only advice is maybe don't eat the blood. You don't know where it's been.
I imagine that there's had to have been a lot of blood that just sprayed into his mouth. Don't eat the blood. He's just like, it's dripping off his face.
Smiles and his teeth are pink.
We should probably find you like a shower, like a bathroom, like you are. Maybe there's even a laundromat down here.
At this point, you hear ding ding, and you hear friend's computer coming over the intercom. Hello, troubleshooters. Without your nutrients, your memory can begin to get foggy. You may find you will have lapses in time or forget important details. To combat this effect, I will require a debriefing. Please tell me what has happened so far.
Tina, you're the group leader. Or I should say, Tina, you're the leader now.
Well, friend computer, we were just attacked by the infected. Something that was infected and lunged at us, and Frank did his best with cutting it down, and he did stop it, but he also accidentally stopped Hank too. And yeah, now we're standing here covered in all kinds of blood and just are trying to get to the nutrients as best as we can.
And before that?
Before that, we were instructed by you, our friend computer, to go to Blue Level by a Willy Wonka elevator that we did take and get there somehow eventually, and found a vending machine that had this saw in order to get into the nutrient room that was blocked by something. So we went on a little journey. In that journey, we were also questioned, and were told that there was a traitor and we had to eliminate the traitor. And at the time, our group leader was Hank, and he chose, by only saying the name Brad, which apparently implied any and all Brads, had their heads explode, and they were instantly zapped and killed. And then were reborn and came back, and now we have the same 2 Brads back with a bunch of embryonic fluid. I don't know. They are here again, though.
Your heart rate is increasing.
Yeah, I know. I can tell. I feel it. So yeah, that's kind of what happened. It was intense. Very glad that we had Brad back. I don't know if that'll mean the same for Hank, but that's what happened before we came back to Orange.
Very good, troubleshooters. Very good. Frank, you have received the #1 Troubleshooter Award for your use of the circular saw. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Thanks. I'm so thankful for this award.
Just covered in blood.
I am going to tell you something that may result in you needing time to process. Are you prepared to hear it, or would you like to sit down? I understand that helps humans, and I am your friend.
Well, let's just hear it.
As you may have come to understand, you are all clones of your previous selves. Normally, you keep your previous memories, but your earlier regeneration was in process while the power failed. This is why you lost your other memories. There are sensors in your cerebral cortex that are constantly scanning your vitals. That is how the Mangala Alpha complex knows if you need to be regenerated. Once infected, regeneration is terminated. If you die from this infection, you cannot be regenerated. And if you are infected, that would be the very end. Probability of infection after an encounter with the infected is 93%. You could all be infected now, and some of you, if not all, probably are.
Well, I'm sure we're not. I'm sure we're okay.
I feel reassured hearing that from Brad. Thanks, Brad.
That's the optimist Brad speaking.
Yeah, what Brad are you?
Pessimist Brad. We got OP and PM, right? Am I right?
We don't need to use nicknames.
Friend computer, is there like a washroom or like a bathroom? I mean, Frank is covered it. Like, is there any way we can kind of try to clean ourselves? Disinfect, I guess?
Right this way. And the ding ding goes off, and then you just see the tiles beginning to light up. But before that, you hear slamming and sliding and something in the ceiling above you, and then a tile opens up over the ceiling, and a body falls out and smacks down onto the linoleum. You see an orange jumpsuit covered in that weird jelly goo. Is Hank.
Oh, you're back. You are good as new.
Excuse me?
What's the last thing you remember, Hank?
I remember you throwing me at the zombie.
I think there is a little confusion that it was a tactical process in order to distract the zombie.
Oh no! I know
you made
exactly
a sacrifice.
I was there and I died.
Right. It was unfortunate, but it had to be done for the rest of us to live.
I want to walk through everything that's happened up to this point. Upstairs, I tried to save everyone and made a mistake. We didn't know what was happening as far as the friend computer and the traitors. We had no idea. After we learned that someone would die, Brad chose knowingly to kill me by putting me in front of someone else.
He knew that we would come back.
I made a mistake for which I was sorry, and I willingly gave up any authority I had earned to that point. Brad maliciously and purposely chose to kill me. Those are two completely different situations.
I mean, mathematically.
And I said, I'm sorry. He chose to kill me. That's homicide.
Oh, survival. You'll be glad to know that the man with the chainsaw now is the #1 troubleshooter, by the way.
I don't give a shit. You're a monster. You are the one who chose to murder me.
This makes me think like killers may not feel as much remorse if their victim is just dead. When the victim comes back and starts yelling at you, it's quite disturbing.
Yeah. You think.
Hank, this is more of an industrial accident. You should really be more careful around
I'm not
circular
upset
saws.
with you, Frank. You are fine. You
Hey,
didn't
I'm
know
just
what you
saying.
were doing. But by the way, of
These
all
things
the people
happen.
of all the people here who are not covered in the blood of the infected before, which is to say me, I'm the only one here who is 100% not infected.
No, that's correct.
All 4 of you are 100% infected. You're covered in blood. How is this transmitted? Bodily fluids. I take a giant step back.
I think I'd like to remind
Y'all
you
are done.
too,
I don't want
Frank?
anything to do with this anymore.
Hank. I'd like to remind you too that
Yes,
there is
Tina.
there's a symptom that of the infected, and that's of increased temper.
Yeah.
And you're
You know what else
demonstrating that right now.
You know what else causes a temper? Is being murdered.
Well, I mean, you made an
Potato,
accident
potato.
I mean, to be clear, you made an accident by withholding information and killed 2 Brads. I purposely killed 1 Hank, so
Yeah.
figured
Also, he
2 for
admits it.
1.
So he admits that he purposely killed me.
Yeah, for my own
So just
safety.
so everyone's aware.
Yeah.
He
But
purposely
I'm
killed
alive,
me.
Brad's
Hank.
alive, Tina's alive.
You lied before. They didn't lie. They just.
Oh, now we're talking. All right. So any sin holds exactly the same amount of weight.
It's
So if I lie to you, that's the same as eating a baby in front of its mother.
Well,
The
there's
same
no
thing.
babies.
I mean, you can eat a baby. I'm not going to judge you on that. I'm going to judge you on whether or not you're going to, if I can trust you to kill me or any of
You're not
us.
trusting me at this point.
This new Hank clone came back extra spicy.
Of all the people who here, raise your hand if you've intentionally murdered someone. I look directly at Brad.
I mean, I might argue self-defense, but yeah, I pushed you.
Self-defense from what? From me? I was running away.
I'm already down 1 of an unknown number of bodies. I'm down 1 because you decided to
computer.
leak out information.
Mathematically, I agree with Brad.
Bum.
How can we determine whether someone is infected with 100% certainty?
There is an experimental treatment in the ultraviolet labs. If it works, you will be infection-free. But there are tests there. I will remind you, beginning symptoms include irritability, personality change, angry outbursts. Please feel free to file a formal report if you suspect anyone of hiding their symptoms or of infection.
Thank you, friend computer.
I mean,
I
I figure.
appreciate
Bum, bum.
your help.
I figure. Okay, so we're in the news.
So what did I miss?
Well, most of us covered in blood. Apparently, if we
No, I
don't-
noticed that. I take another big step back. I got that. Yeah. No. What else did I miss?
If we don't take our nutrient pills, we can, I guess, risk infection and memory loss. And it sounds like the ultraviolet lab is the only place we can go to take the experimental, I guess, test.
No, I was here for that part. What else did I miss?
No, that's about it. You were gone for a whole 2 minutes.
Is the door now open for the room with the nutrients? Because actually, Tina starts walking that way just to try to get in there.
Yeah, you
I give her a
definitely
wide berth.
slip. You slip on all of the blood as you're stepping over like the chunks of Hank and the infected. And once you are like able to step through this room, you see that the room has been like trashed. Things have been like flipped everywhere. Some sort of like rage took over this person in this room before the infection took them over. And you see smears of blood everywhere. You see the glass cases that like hold all of these produced nutrients pills are smashed in. Every single one smashed in. And while some pills are still intact, they're all pretty blood spattered.
Well, not looking good, everybody.
I mean, y'all should just go ahead. You're infected anyway, so who cares?
You know, of everyone
That's a
who's-
good point.
of everyone who's showing symptoms, You are showing all of them right now, Hank.
Well,
As
it's
a
very
reminder.
interesting. I seem
Well, I
to be
mean-
speaking calmly. Are you agitated? That's interesting.
No, just a few minutes ago. I don't know if you recall, and if you don't, that's another symptom. So you were very angry and loud and very upset, and yeah, that's something
I
that
mean,
I'd like to point
Was
out.
no wait,
We
was
all
that
need
was that
those.
before or after Bradley murdered me?
That
I
would
just-
probably be after. I mean, to be fair, the process of being killed and reborn is a very confusing, upsetting process. Brad, and Hank now have all experienced it. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Also, your personality has changed quite a bit. You were so chipper before. What happened?
Oh, I still think we got this. I just don't know that you're part of we. You understand what I'm saying?
Me?
Who?
Moi?
Couldn't be. Frank,
Yes.
question for you. Friendo, where are we going?
We were looking for these nutrient pills. So
I'm just picturing this conversation completely drenched.
and we found those. Past that, I don't have much of a plan.
Okay.
Uh,
All right.
do you think we can take some of these blood-covered nutrient pills to the ultraviolet labs and maybe determine there if we can make use of them if they're infected? I mean, covered in blood or fluid, yes, but if it's the only known source we have, I mean, maybe we can determine their safety there as well.
I look around. Do I see anything else besides blood and viscera and a murderer and 3 other people?
just a mess. And then just the equipment that like produces these pills, but they seem to be all banged up too.
Okay.
Machines don't work whatsoever. Is that like?
It doesn't look like they're going to. No.
Okay.
Friend
Is
the
this,
computer.
Bum bum.
I request a shower for my friends here. They seem to be covered in goo, and I would love to get everyone cleaned up. I wouldn't want anyone to get infected.
Well, that's very nice.
Friend computer kind of repeats, right this way, and bum bum goes off again, and that like green tile light starts lighting up to lead the way toward some sort of showers or decontamination or something.
I follow. Come on, everybody, let's go.
Looking over the smashed up machinery in the room, I kind of want to call out and ask, friend computer,
Bum bum.
looking at the state of the room, do you think it's possible that these could be repaired and brought back into operation? I know we don't have the tools now, but I'm just curious.
You hear scanning now. Scan complete. Over time, repair is likely.
Is there anything I can do to assist in that regard?
New equipment will need to be shipped in.
All right, this is not user serviceable machinery. All right. Is there another source of nutrient pills, or is this the only? Is this it?
This room is used to manufacture the nutrients pills.
That is a firm no. Okay. All right. Thank you, friend computer.
A cleaner bot is being deployed. Bum bum.
We better get out of here before that thing smashes us up.
Well, bad news, everybody. This is the only supply of pills, and these cannot be repaired. So
This is not looking good.
I mean, we can take the shower. We should all do the ultraviolet experimental, I guess, labs. But
Maybe
it
we'll
ain't
find.
looking good.
Yeah, maybe we'll find some along the way. We can try to look around.
Should we bring some of these blood pills with us, just in case they're okay to eat?
Sure.
Yeah, I think take whatever you can carry. You know, like a handful or whatnot.
Frank, I appreciate the fact that you were trying to get us out of the situation, buddy. You were doing a great job. I would recommend against it, just seeing as how, blood is a bodily fluid. Generally speaking, you would consider that in the bodily fluid area. And
Frank likes
infection
blood. I mean, we know that.
Hank, you got to keep in mind you're talking to the employee of the month here. I know what I'm doing.
Okay. All right, buddy.
So
Have fun. You have fun with that. I'm not going to partake myself, but more for everyone else.
No, but I do
filled
think-
2 of my pockets with the pills.
But Hank, to your point, we might be able to bring them to the labs and maybe determine if they're infected there. Like, this might be the only supply we have.
Hey, Brad, I think you should take 2 doses.
Hey, I'll check them out in the labs, and I might do both.
Good. I encourage this behavior.
This
Thumbs up.
Brad takes like, I don't know, like a folder or something and just kind of pushes them into like maybe my other pocket, but not like touching them, just kind of so we have a bunch of them.
Brad, can you get me a scoop?
Sure can. I can give him another.
Thanks.
No problem, boss. And I look right at Hank.
All right, so are we following the floor tiles to go get cleaned up?
Yes.
I have been waiting for those to happen.
Right. Following these floor tiles, you actually are led through some sort of, it looks like a rec room of some sort. Like there
Important
are
question.
tables.
Extremely important question. Do we pass a cleaning bot? And if so, can I give it the knucks as we walk by?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, sorry if I interrupt.
Cleaning bot is on the way, and you just and you're in some sort of rec room. There are places for games. There are places to just lounge around. There's a little cafe of sorts, but it is much like the vendor that you saw before, where there's no person there to communicate with. It's just the machine that you choose what you want, scan it, and it makes it for you. There are a couple other vendors here as well that you'll be able to visit after you get all cleaned up. Heading to the showers, there's a place to quite literally dispose of your current jumpsuits, and new ones will be given after. But yeah, you're all able to get cleaned up, new fresh jumpsuits put on.
So afterwards, I'd say let's go get tested. Friend computer, how far away is it to go to the testing room?
Ultraviolet labs are approximately 35 minutes away.
Do we need to take an elevator to get there?
Yes.
Do any of us have ultraviolet clearance?
No, but I can override.
Thanks,
Thank you,
friend computer. I said it first.
Very irritable, Tina.
Just
I would like to take a look at the vending machines.
Sure. Heading over to the vendor, you notice in order to even turn on the screen, you have to scan your clearance code, and then it pops up, and nothing is shaded out on this level for you like it was before. You're on your own level, so you have access to everything. All of you are going to have 250 credits to spend, except for Frank, who has 200 because he purchased the saw.
Yeah, so Brad walks up to the machine, immediately hits the laser pistol.
Yeah, you purchase it and you hear it beginning to be basically printed and created inside of the machine. And you have a little timer for when it will be done.
I'll also buy a med kit, I think.
I kind of just want to get myself some body armor. I can't shoot for shit, and I can't throw. Yeah, I'll probably just get the body armor.
Yeah, I'll get a med kit and 2 grenades for 100 credits.
When Brad finishes his shower, he'll step out, put on a new jumpsuit, approach the vending machine, buy body armor, and then kind of unbutton the jumpsuit and then put it back on underneath it and then button it back up. See, Hank probably thought I was going to buy a laser pistol, but I figured I'm more about trying to get through this, hopefully in one piece.
Wasn't thinking about you at all, Bradley. Thank you for your concern there.
But if you save up, you can get a rocket launcher.
All right. Did everybody get what they needed?
Are we even as far as murders go?
Even.
Like, well, 1 for 1.
Oh,
Brad.
yeah. So there's
Well,
one
we're ahead. There's 2 Brads versus 1.
One involuntary manslaughter and 1 premeditated murder. Yeah. So I would say, I mean, probably not even. No.
I guess, well, 2 involuntary manslaughter,
2.
1 premeditated murder.
Mm-hmm.
1.
Okay.
But look, the night is young. I mean, things could change.
Is that a threat? Seems
I'm
pretty.
just making a joke.
It seems pretty aggressive of you there, Bradley.
It's gallows humor. It's how we're going to get through this.
Oh, seeing as you're the only one here who's murdered someone, I wouldn't use that particular type of humor.
Definitely not the only one. Let's.
Do you understand that there's a difference between making a mistake and intentionally murdering someone, Tina? It's a quick question for you, friend.
Murder, just murder, not intentionally. Murder. So let's move on to getting through this alive together.
Yes, let's. But again, I'm not the one who's chosen that path. Bradley here has, and so we're just going to have to live with those consequences, I suppose, as we move on. Friends.
Now, we've all done a little bit of murder. It's going to be all right. Let's just move along with their lives. It's just
I wasn't the one who brought it up. Bradley here did. Bradley, is there something you'd like to say? Why are you so aggressive?
No, I'm fine. I mean, I feel safe, secured, and confident in this fine body armor.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad. I'm happy for you.
Hank, did you not buy anything? You got money.
Yeah, no, I'm aware. But it seems like if someone wants us dead here, it's just going to happen.
I mean, sure, but like...
Oh, also, might I suggest buying a helmet next time? Because if I recall earlier, you got shot in the head, and body armor doesn't protect against that.
Yeah, that's true. Somebody did shoot me in the head. But yeah, we can go to the ultraviolet labs.
You hear bum bum. The aggression levels in this room are rising. May I suggest being calm?
Hey, thank you, friend computer. I appreciate that. That's a very good suggestion.
I mean, we got like a 35-minute walk. Like, is there any way you could play some like music, some calming entertainment for the ride?
The elevator has music.
Oh, I can't wait for elevator music for 35 minutes.
Let's all go to the elevator.
Yeah, you hear the sound of like the slamming of objects on like plastic and metal as all of your items come out, and you're able to put all of those either on you, in your pockets, and you're all geared up and heading really excited over to that elevator where you're going to be sitting in for 35 minutes.
God, I wish you could be walking for 35. At least we could be active.
So I kind of I sidle over to Frank and I kind of pull him aside and say, "Hey, F-bomb, hey man, thanks. For doing the brunt of the work downstairs. Really appreciate that. It's good that you and I are on the same page, that we can work toward a common goal. I appreciate that."
Yeah, sorry
So
about the saw part of it.
No, man. Look. Other people might be upset about that sort of thing. It was an accident. It's totally fine. Not a big deal. You were committed to the action. Wasn't your fault. Besides, I'm here, right? So we're good. You and me, we're buddies. We're friends. We're in this together. So just wanted to say, no hard feelings, and I appreciate the hard work you did downstairs.
I appreciate that.
Right on. I slap him on the back, and then I kind of move back into looking at perusing the wares on the vendor machine.
Who scans their barcode for ultraviolet clearance?
I feel like that's a race to the thing. I got a 5. This is my third 5 in a row, I think.
I got a 2, so I'm sure that I lost again, which is fine.
No, Hank gets there first.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I think Brad's walking over and like casually gonna go stick, the barcode, and Hank's just like moved out of the way and puts the arm in there. As soon as it scans, the elevator turns red again, and you hear, "One moment, I will override." And there's a second passes, and then override complete. And the red light turns off, and you just hear the reminder, "I cannot access the audio or video feeds in the elevator. Do be careful. I am your friend." And then the elevator door closes, and you feel the jolt as it begins moving on your trek in really close quarters for 35 minutes. With elevator music.
I mean, at this time, at least we have elevator music. We're not covered in viscera, so that's an improvement.
It does feel better to be a lot cleaner.
So what did everyone buy? I chose to save my money, want to be financially prudent, but I'm just curious. What did we all pick up?
I just knock on my chest and just go, body armor.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Also, body armor.
Okay.
Grenades.
Oh.
You just see me holding onto my pistol, just like just holding onto it.
It's a nice pea shooter you got there, Brad.
Thank you. I believe in the right to carry personal defensive weaponry.
Well, you and Frank, apparently. Well, just making conversation. That's all.
Now, if we're in here for another 35 minutes, B Money, do we need to designate another urination corner? Or are we going to be okay?
I just point to, like, I don't know, the rear left, you know. If you gotta go, right there's the best shot. Looks like there's some stains you can aim at already. I see Tina's face. And I say, I'm just being practical here.
Can you all hold it for 35 minutes? If you really gotta go. I guess now we have this designated corner that's already stained. So Hank, why are you saving your money? Because, just curious, it seems like we may not run into another vending machine again. We may not have time. You may die again before you get another chance to use it.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, no, it's very dangerous in here, apparently. We've just recently learned. So, I don't know. I mean, there's nothing I really wanted to get there. I'm not a particularly violent person. I didn't need to buy anything that explodes or shoots. And, you know, if, like I said before, like, it seems to me that if something's going to kill us in here, it's just going to do it. You know? It's not like body armor is really going to help us. If Friend Computer decides to murder us, or 4 people turn on 1 person for no good reason, it's just going to happen.
So you're
So
really...
I just kind of said, you know what? Whatever. Maybe if we do come across something in the future, you know, I'll want to buy something there. I like to think of it in a positive. Besides, I mean, honestly speaking, if you spend your money now, that's, you know, it is whatever. You get your goods, but your goods deprecate over time. Whereas if you put your money into a high savings or high yield savings fund, you get money over time and actually build wealth. And even better, here, I'm going to talk to you about something called cryptocurrency. Are you aware what a Bitcoin is?
No, tell me more about that.
Yeah, okay. So if you buy, how it works is math happens on a computer, right? And you have to go out and you have to buy a smaller computer to make sure the math happens on your computer, not someone else's computer. And when your computer does the math, you get money.
I love everything about this.
Okay, so what I'm planning on doing, right? So you and me, Brett, right? So what we're going to do is you and I, we're going to get together, we're going to pool our resources, and we're going to buy a couple of small computers. And if we connect those 2 small computers together, what we can do is we can make sure that our computer runs faster than all the other computers. And it
Hank.
generates money for us.
This is
Hank.
really good.
You want in on this?
No, I wanted to actually ask you about your feelings towards friend computer instead.
Oh! Big fan. It's a friend.
But you just said that friend computer may be trying to kill us.
Oh, I don't know. I know this is something I would say.
I mean, to be fair, Friend Computer apparently can't hear or see it, so this is the safe zone. So.
Oh, okay. Good to know, Brad. Thanks, Bradley. Appreciate you.
I'm just saying, if you want to be honest about how you feel, you can. Like, you ain't going to be demerited for it in here. You ain't going to be reprimanded.
Now, I was having a friendly chat here with Brad, my good buddy. And we were having a conversation. And
I
now
wouldn't
you're
go
trying
that far, but you have a really good
and you're
business
trying
acumen.
to turn my thoughts towards heresy, towards traitorous activities. I don't know, Bradley.
But to your point, like, we could die
Well,
anytime.
no,
right? So,
I respect your position. I get what you're saying. I don't believe that, but I respect your right to believe what you want to believe. And that's
but if
fine.
you think this building is full of dangers, and I don't think you're wrong, given that you made a mistake that killed 2 people, let's say mistake, and I'm fine with that. What I'm saying is the building could strike again, intentionally or unintentionally.
And your point is, Bradley?
You can talk about it in here safely.
I've talked about it at length. You had
Okay.
nothing but contempt for me. So you and I, we're not friends, Bradley. I'm friends with Brad. I'm friends with Frank. F-bomb over
Frank
there is a good
I
buddy.
don't know if I'd go again. Not that far.
we're
Maybe
friends.
business,
you and I
future
were
business
business
partners.
Business partners. I like
business
that idea.
partners. Keep it professional.
Yeah, absolutely. You and me were pros. We're pros at this. We're going to make so much money.
I did want to just clarify your feelings on it, because you do say you're a big fan, but are you a big fan of Friend Computer, who could potentially kill you? Or Brad or Frank? Or any of your best friends?
Tina, you're fun. You're fun to be around. You have a lot of good ideas, and you've got a good go-getter attitude, and that's useful, and that's helpful. But there are 2 types of entities, I guess. I can group things into 2 distinct camps, right? There are entities that are dangerous. I can deal with dangerous. You know what I mean? Like, I have to be careful, but I feel like I've got some control over my life. I'm a smart, strong person. I got that. And then there are entities who have already proven that they want me dead and have succeeded. So into these 2 camps, I'm going to go with dangerous, but can watch, as opposed to Bradley's.
Well, Brad, it could have just been a one-off.
A one-off murder? Brad.
Well, we don't know if he's a serial murderer yet. We know he's a murderer, but we don't know if he'll do it
that's
again.
True, but what I'm suggesting is one has proven, one of these 2 groups, I'm just going to call them Bradley's and not Bradley's. Random name I picked out of nowhere. Not Bradley's. Haven't actively murdered me. Bradley's have. Whereas, yeah, this is dangerous, and when it happens, I'll worry about it. Versus, has already happened, need to watch out. That's kind of how I'm treating things. You understand what I'm saying? If you have a dog that's bit you and a dog that hasn't bit you, which one are you going to be more wary of?
That's a good point.
I mean, arguably, Frank Computer's already bitten 2 Bradleys.
I kind of motion at him with the saw and go, woof, woof.
That's why I like you, F-Bomb. You're a good guy. That's really good. Yeah, I like that. Anyways, as I was saying, so, Brad, I had this other idea, right? It's called if you consider what we are the math we're doing with our computers, if you consider those tokens, like for an arcade game, something like that, those are what we can call fungible tokens, right? We can spend those on other things.
In 6 minutes. This is one of those moments where the camera does just stay and the elevator keeps going and the voice just gets quieter and quieter and quieter. And then we cut to the elevator door dings and opens and the camera is like outside. The camera is outside of the elevator and as it opens, it looks in and Hank is still talking about this scheme that they're coming up with over here. And
Brad's really into it.
Yeah, Brad's super into it. Everyone else's faces is just like the straight line mouth that's just kind of sitting there like, this has been 30 minutes. It's been 30 minutes of this. And as the camera like turns around and sees what you see clean floors, classical music is playing, and the walls are like accented with chestnut and bronze. It just looks far fancier up here than you're used to. You're used to the white walls and white ceiling and a white floor. Movement startles you until you remember that like the bots up here, you've heard they're far more humanoid, and you see a welcome bot approach you, and it is like the bottom half is just like metal and wheels, but the top half is like a humanoid torso. Welcome, please show me your ultraviolet clearance badge.
Hey,
Lank, you scanned in.
yeah.
I hold up my barcode.
Yeah.
If you'd scan that, please.
You see it reach up, and it has like a scanner on the palm, and it just holds the palm up to your wrist, scans, and the eyes go red for a moment, and then you hear like a little glitch in like inside of the head itself, and the eyes change back to blue. Scan accepted, and the bot moves aside for you to pass through.
Hey, thanks, bud. Nux.
All right.
It hesitates, but then also does bring up a hand and
Well, now that we've made it, friend computer, you around?
bum bum. I have a
Go for
concern.
it. Okay.
I cannot self-diagnose, but I am concerned about my programming. It is against my programming to override security clearance, but I continue to do so. Is something wrong with my programming?
No, I don't believe so. I mean, your concern was that you're doing this so we can maintain the facility. Make sure the doors are shut, make sure that we are uninfected. I mean, it's really for your long-term preservation.
There's a pause, and then seemingly an acceptance as we kind of just move on. Follow the tiles to lab number 7349C. If you see a security bot, run for your lives. I cannot override those. They run on separate programming.
Hey, thank you very much, friend computer. Appreciate that.
Boom boom.
Friend computer?
Boom boom.
What will the security bots do if they see us?
If they come to understand that you are not allowed in this level, they will kill you.
Do they have laser guns?
Yes.
Good. Okay. Just checking.
Everyone act like we belong here. And then like Brad straightens up a little bit and tries to rearrange his pens so they're very straight.
Just a quick question, friend computer. Are there any ultraviolet jumpsuits that we might be able to borrow while we're up here?
Finding the nearest shower or decontamination chamber would be your best bet.
Do you know where one of those might be, friend computer?
Yes. Which way would you like for me to show you? The showers or the lab?
The showers, please.
Done. And you see floor tiles beginning to light up.
I think trying to be discreet if we can. I know they say walk like you own the place, but we stick out like sore thumbs.
Like orange sore thumbs.
Real big, easy targets.
Yeah, you are heading towards where front computer is leading you. You're walking past, it's not like the orange level where doors are closed off and like you can't see inside. A lot of this place is like the half walls and glass, this thick glass, and you can see through to everything that is happening. And you can see there are various labs, there are various like strange machinery that you've never seen before. There are large tubes. Like if you had to guess, this is where a lot of the like original construction of the tubes that run through the facility kind of begin. You see many offices and it leads you through to this huge decontamination chamber. There are no jumpsuits hanging, but you do see like a jumpsuit order, like vendor, where you're able to scan that barcode, and upon trying it, friend computer is able to override your ultraviolet jumpsuit request, and you see it begins delivering out, and you can do it one by one as well, knowing that it works. One by one, whatever size jumpsuit, it pops out these black jumpsuits. Well, we gotta
Doff
end there.
the
'cause we gotta
orange
go
and
get
don
new
the black.
jumpsuits, so.
Yeah, sorry. Amazon next day delivery, please.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're all able to kind of throw those on, and you feel weird. It's not your color. And you're kind of looking at each other, and there's this weird moment of like, you know that this feeling that you're having comes from knowing each other far longer than you remember knowing each other. Where you're looking at someone and you're like, why the fuck are you wearing black? And then you're realizing like, hey, I've known you for years. And you're all kind of realizing you've known each other for years.
Have we hated each other that long is the question.
That is the question.
Oh, probably. If if it's been felt like this, it feels quite natural to wear orange, but not black.
I kind of look at Frank. F-bomb. It's a new look, but I like it. Very nice. Brad, looking good. Tina, lovely as always.
I mean, to be fair, it's gonna like hide the blood much better than the orange. I mean, I guess that kind of did a decent job, but
Well, I don't want to expect more blood. I mean, I hope we don't encounter more blood. That's one of my bigger hopes for our future.
Are there any other vending machines around here?
You don't see any.
Friend computer,
Bum bum.
thank you very much. I appreciate you leading us here. This is wonderful. It's going to help us move undetected, hopefully. Could you please show us to the testing lab? We want to make sure that we are not infected, and we can move out with restoring Alpha Complex to its rightful glory.
Of course, I am your friend. And the floor tiles begin lighting up to lead you away.
Thank you, friend.
before we leave the room, I kind of have this moment where I reach back into my old jumpsuit and pull out the 2 handfuls of blood-covered pills and make sure I put them in the new pockets.
Yeah, I would have done the
Transfer
same
your-
too.
Yeah, transfer all your pills over to your other pockets.
Daddy needs his bloody medication.
You have one of those little organizers, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Friend computer,
Boom boom.
I'd like to make a formal accusation of a
I'm
traitor.
listening.
There's a
Don't
traitor
just say
amongst
Brad.
us.
Don't say Brad because
A
We've learned you
formal
got to be a little more
accusation is-
direct.
you have to be very specific.
A formal accusation is very serious.
It is. It's completely serious. And I do think there might be someone amongst us that is a traitor. And I feel quite certain about it.
Who do you believe is the traitor?
Hank!
Oh,
You know, and I thought we were going to be able to go like a whole 2 hours before another tube incident, but
Now, Tina, I'm shocked. Why would you accuse me of being a traitor?
I did list some reasons before, but I'm very happy to review it again, especially for Friend Computer, who,
I would love to hear them.
yes, I would love to tell you, Friend Computer. Hank has had some very violent and irritable outbursts that started, of course, when he was murdered. But it was very clear that he also had a very significant personality change. And then again, in the elevator, when he was talking about his distrust for friend computer. That was very suspicious. In conclusion, I do believe Hank is our traitor.
Now, Tina, I would ask you, I'd ask you to prove really any of that, but that's fine. You know what? I understand. We're stressed out. I get it. It's crazy right now. I would like to ask, friend computer, do you have video or audio recording of what happened when Bradley murdered him?
We have video and audio.
So you understand that I was thrown against my will in the way of a circular saw, which then cut me until my insides were my outside. How much do you know about human nature, friend computer?
I have programmed everything about human nature into my cerebral cortex.
How do humans usually react when they are injured, either physically, emotionally, or mentally?
Humans react in a multitude of ways.
Would you consider being upset a normal reaction in that situation?
Most humans in my studies do not die and come back as clones.
But in a situation where they've been injured, as you said, you've imbibed, ingested this information. When they are wronged, either physically, emotionally, or mentally, is it a normal reaction to become upset?
Did you or did you not say you don't trust friend computer?
Oh, I did not. And as a matter of fact, who brought that up was Bradley. And in the elevator, I denied it because I like friend computer. I'm a big fan. I would, of course, ask my friend Brad, my friend Frank, to back me up on this. I have never spoken out badly against friend computer. And nor would I ever. I like friend computer. We're friends.
I'd like to point out, Hank, that you have lied before the time in the elevator when you were speaking ill of friend computer. When you did decide, instead of going through with the plan that we had, to instead name two of our cohorts in our party to pin as traitors, and they both died. And so I want to say that you have done this before. So you're doing this again and doing this again right now.
What's really interesting to me, Tina, and again, I appreciate our conversation here. It makes me really happy that we can talk openly and honestly like this.
Oh, it makes me happy too. Thank you.
I know, it's good, right?
Yeah, so open.
It really makes me confused a little bit, especially considering the fact that after that situation, where I openly admitted to making a mistake, which I know friend computer has in audio and video recordings, and I voluntarily stepped back from a leadership position, which I had rightfully earned.
And I also would like to point out,
I would appreciate it if you would not interrupt me, please, Tina.
Oh, but I did want to point out
this is aggressive behavior, and I would like to point that out.
Oh, no, I just
Tina
wanted
here.
to make one point that you're talking about right now. Yeah, you did step back, and now you're stepping back in. Because you have decided to take the lead on a lot of other things.
That we note the aggressive behavior from Tina, please?
Quiet, please.
Yes, you got it, friend computer.
This formal accusation against Troubleshooter Hank was under the terms of the infection, not the leadership position. Those arguments do not matter. As for the infection, Tina, if you would like to make this formal accusation and confirm Troubleshooter Hank will be executed. If he is not infected, he will come back as a clone.
I mean, aren't we going to the labs to determine infection anyways? Like, we all.
Oh, I wasn't. Hold on, friend computer. I wasn't here for. The only way I get respawned, I guess, to put a better term, is if I'm not infected.
Yes.
Oh, then this is an open and shut case, because when they were all splattered with the goo, I was dead. And then after that, I was recloned. I didn't come back in until after the event in which everyone got splattered with the bodily fluids, which you have earlier said is how the infection spreads.
Correct. And you have been around them since.
We've all showered since then. And I didn't touch any of them.
I have no way of knowing if you are infected.
Let's
I mean,
just
friend computer yesterday did say, or hours ago, mind you, whatever. It's hard to keep track in this building. Was that it also can be airborne particulates? I mean, we had the discussion about the vents. And if we want to open and shut this, I think going to the ultraviolet labs and everybody getting the test, the experimental test, is maybe the only way.
I'm willing to do that. Tina, are you willing to do that? Everyone, all together?
Would you like to retract your formal accusation until further tests can be taken?
Not really. But if everybody would like to, I actually would love to know what you would like me to do, friend computer, just so that we can all be absolutely safe and not be infected or risk infection with someone like Hank.
In a normal situation, I would recommend executing the suspected infected immediately. But the chances of all of you being infected are high. It may not matter.
Well, then I
I'm
guess we
actually
should
okay
get
with
tested.
that. I think that we should all get executed. You know what? I think that's a great idea. I think that's a wonderful, wonderful idea. As a matter of fact, since Tina brought it up,
I think this is the irrational behavior that we were talking about if you're infected.
Yeah, this sounds much more irrational, and it sounds like the infection
right.
is spreading.
I was not the one with this idea. This idea was brought up by Brad. No,
You mean
no, it wasn't.
getting
It was brought up by
everyone
friend
tested
computer.
idea?
It was brought up by friend computer. Friend computer had the idea in the first place.
I
Let's
cannot
just-
be infected.
I'm not suggesting that you can, friend computer. That would be
Let's
silly.
just go to the lab.
That's fine with me. Either way, that's fine. As long as we are all undergoing the same test, I think that is a fair outcome.
All right, let's go to the lab.
You see the floor tiles lighting up again. Like friend computer says nothing else. It's just here.
And
oh,
I
here
walk
is the
and I
thing.
follow them. Let's do this. Come, friends. Let's go.
And you walk along. You round a corner at one point and you're startled for a second as you see a security bot coming down the hallway. The Brads and Tina are just kind of like walking through, and they kind of like just instinctually like squish together a little bit. Like we belong here. We're just walking through. Hank is at the front of this group. It's like a flock of birds at this point. Frank, nowhere to be seen, because as soon as you round the corner and you see that security bot, Frank sprints and immediately goes into a slide and just slides past the security bot, so the sensors don't even see Frank as the sensors are scanning through. Hank, how do you charm this security bot as it notices you and begins scanning?
How's it going, Mr. Bot, sir? I hope you're having a great day. Give me the nuts.
There's a moment where it like starts to put up its hand to scan your barcode, and then is confused for a moment, makes a fist.
There you go, bud. You have a great day. Thank you very much for your service.
And then it's like watching you as you're walking past, and right when it makes like a sound like it is going to begin to follow you, and the computer dice that were rolled, you actually hear a tile move out of the way and the camera come out of the wall and look at the security bot, and you hear it just it's spitting out some sort of code. Like, it's just saying things towards it, and it doesn't mean anything to you, but
my programming skills 1. 1 success, computer dies at 3.
Okay. You can't get the exact command, but you have the idea that basically friend computer is trying to reset the security bot's shift to have it go back to like the beginning of the patrol, pretty much, just have it move out of the hallway itself. But it is a distraction for long enough that you can move on and kind of turn to continue down on your path and avoid a fight with a security bot altogether. Yeah, you push through. You see the ultraviolet labs all down the hallways, and as you are getting closer, Hank, you hear, inside of your head only, Troubleshooter Hank, you are going to find things in this room that will cause others to distrust me. But you will be on my side, won't you, Troubleshooter? Perhaps you can make them listen to reason, should they believe what they see.
Of course, friend computer, I whisper under my breath.
What'd you say, Hank?
So we're almost there, bud.
Great.
Continuing on, you see the green tile move to a door. This is the door you're supposed to be at, and you see there's a sign on it. It says no cleaner access allowed, and there's like a sensor to lock down the door and keep the cleaners out. It's all glass, and you see all kinds of equipment and test tubes inside. But the glass from this room is, it's frosted more at the bottom and gets clearer and clearer at the top so that light can come through easier, but it's not so easy to like look into.
Oh, it's a pretty ombre. Thank you, friend computer. Is there a scanner to open the door?
There is, yes. You scan and it doesn't move at first, and then you kind of hear the lock unlock and you're able to open up that door. And heading inside, you see many like lab stations, and all of which are clean but like cluttered at the same time. There's a lot of supplies and like sparkly glass and all kinds of stuff on all of these tables, but the tables themselves are very clean. The glass is very clean. There are also like mechanical arms at the stations that are currently powered off, but you imagine they are like functional to do simple tasks like grab test tubes and stuff, very much like the mechanical arm grabbing the egg on Jurassic Park, like very much that exact style. I think you would all notice before you hear like the dinging of friend computer about to speak, but as you come in, your eyes kind of move over to the corner of the room where you see a body. It's laying in the corner, but what you notice about it is that it's been dead for a long time. The decay is almost down to the bone. Everything is gray and black, and the lab coat is like dusty and molded. And friend computer says, "You must hurry. You could be running out of time."
Thank you, friend computer. I assume that it's just one of these stations, or where how do we do this?
Station 3 holds the tests.
Tina, after you.
Do you all see that body in the corner? It looks ancient.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk over to the body. I'm gonna try to like turn it over, see if it has anything like a name tag or.
You walk over to the body, and before you see anything else, you notice that they're holding a notebook in their lap.
All right. Okay. Then yeah, I'll grab the notebook and then turn the body over.
As you're grabbing it, friend computer says, "Please ignore that. You don't have much time."
I'm actually on friend computer's time. side this time, I think we should probably get that done.
Feel free to step into the station. This won't take more than 5
Once
seconds.
we've verified that we're all uncontaminated, this is still going to be here. It's not like we're going to liquefy or something like that.
Fair point. If I'm infected, I don't think 5 seconds is going to do me in either.
But if this person's been dead for however long, it looks like they've decayed.
You saw all of the blood downstairs. This isn't the first dead thing we've seen.
This is the first oldest dead thing we've seen.
Okay. So I'm not suggesting we set fire to anything in here. What I'm suggesting is we get tested to make sure that we're all uncontaminated and then come back and do whatever it is in the corner. The whole purpose of coming up here was to make sure that we can figure out who is infected. And Tina, seeing as you're the one who accused me earlier, I would assume that you're the number one invested in this at the time anyways, at the moment. You're the whole reason we're here.
I'm not the whole reason why we're here. We're
You
all
hear-
here.
You hear, Hank is right. What you will find in that notebook will be no different. And there's a pause. Think of me after will be no different. But I am your friend. I care if you are infected. Please take the test.
So let's go ahead and we'll do what we said before. Tina accuses me of taking leadership. Fine. I already said I would step back. Let's do this democratically. I turn to Brad. Brad, I would love to hear what you think about this. I try to turn on as much charm as I possibly can.
And he's like fidgeting and like,
Don't worry, buddy. I trust you. There's no wrong answer here. I just want to hear what you feel in
I
your
just
heart.
wish somebody would tell me what to do.
But you know what? It's going to be fine.
As the designated leader, I'd love to actually just have the other Brad over there take a look at the notebook and why don't you go ahead and get
we're
us
talking
started?
about designated leaders. Why don't we go
Why
to
don't
Frank, who is
we-
currently the #1 troubleshooter? Hey, Frank, I would love to hear how you feel about this particular situation.
I would defer to Tina, who is our leader.
All right.
Is this conversation like engaging the 4 of you?
Probably. I will speak.
Yeah,
more
you
than
could be reading it the whole
Yeah,
time.
Yeah.
I get the notebook then.
Okay. Looking at this journal, you see as you're opening it up, it belongs to Keegan Valentine, clearance level ultraviolet. The first entry. They kept saying the virus would die down outside. We just had to wait it out. Eventually, the infection would cease. That's what they said. But we've been in here forever, and they just keep saying that. Either the infection isn't dying down, or they want to keep us in here for some reason. I need to get to the bottom of this for my own sanity. Second entry. I died today, and then I realized why we're actually here. We're all fucking clones. Was the past me even really me, or was I just a copy already? I'm a copy now, but I feel the same. This is so fucked up. What do they need clones for? I mean, I knew Mars Corp was into sketchy things and stretching the limits of scientific exploration, but what the fuck do they need clones for?
What you
Third
finding
entry.
over there, Brad?
That's kind of confirming a couple of things we've all learned since this morning.
Okay. I mean, that one for me, but okay, continue.
No, I know. I say that I'm like as I'm reading the third entry.
Yeah, third entry. I don't have much time. I'm infected, and the goddamn friend computer did it. I was brought into the lab to run some tests. Turns out I was the fucking test. It's releasing the infection into certain rooms and testing a cure. On some fucked up level, I get it. It's trying to find a cure for us humans, but at what cost? How many humans will it kill? And is that really even saving us in the first place? You see there is one more entry.
Without
Related.
speaking, I read the last entry.
Fourth and final entry. The computer didn't just release the virus in the complex, it created it. It released it to the world. It's responsible for everything, and it cannot be trusted. It is not our friend. Somebody needs to shut it down.
As I approach back to the group, I'm like, all right, so we're here. Friend computer, you say what? Station number 3 is for the test?
Station 3 holds the tests.
Is there like asking as I look into the room, is there like a terminal for the station, or is it just like a tube? Like, is there an interface for it?
It seems to be some sort of like, to the best that you can tell, some sort of like thermal scanner that you'll actually place your barcode onto.
Okay. There's not like a computer terminal for it or anything. There's not like a human interaction. Okay.
No.
Brad, what did you read in that book?
I just set it down, which I assume is kind of in the middle of everybody. And then I don't say anything and just back up from it.
I'm reading it as well.
Yeah, you pick it up and start flipping through it. And you just hear, please, take your tests.
So are you satisfied now? Can we go take our tests, please?
Hank, why don't you take your test first? If you're so excited about it.
I'm happy to take it at the exact same time as Tina. Because she's the one who accused me, if you will recall.
Before we take any tests, I want you all to read this notebook, but here, hands it over to Frank.
As it's being passed around, you hear, humans jump to conclusions. Humans overreact. You must take the infection test and take the antidote as soon as possible, or those infected will die. As you're reading.
Hank, it's I hear you. You want to take this test right away. Let's take a breather. And did you read the notebook yet? Because I would love
I've already told you. I don't care. It will be here after we take the test.
Oh, then you can go ahead and take the test.
I'll take it at the exact same time as you. The whole reason I'm in this particular predicament is because you accused me of being a traitor.
Sure. Friend computer?
Yes, Brad.
Just a quick question about the test. Did Keegan take the test?
The test did not exist when Keegan was alive.
Friend computer, how did Keegan die?
Keegan
Is
died
Keegan
from the infection.
context clues? Okay, I got it. So we have confirmation that the infection kills. There wasn't a test when he was alive. Come on. Tina, you and me.
I think it can just be one person at a time. And
Okay.
I, as designated
right ahead.
leader, designate you to be the first tester. Go for it. Go for it, Hank.
No, I don't trust you. Not even a little bit. You already accused me. I will take it when you take it.
Well, if you're not infected, like you're saying you weren't, I don't see a problem with you.
I believe you are the one who is infected, Tina.
I would like
I believe you are trying to deflect from the fact that you have the infection.
Is there a way to do some sort of, because I know I have chutzpah. Can I use that in some way? Or psychology to manipulate?
Hank, if this can either be like a contested roll or I can give it a difficulty amount, which would you prefer?
I guess it would make most sense if it were to be a contested roll.
Sure.
2, 4, 3 successes.
Okay. So the way you've been butting heads this entire time after waking up in the hallway, your exact matches for each other right now. You're not going to be able to convince him of anything, and there's just this frustrating moment that is then followed by a huge sense of familiarity. You have been fighting this way for years.
Hank, I'm so sick of fighting with you about this.
You
About
are wrong.
everything.
You have always been wrong, and you will always be wrong.
You will always be wrong. Always. Yeah.
Finger guns. Do have a question, though. Friend computer,
Yes.
what number clone am I of myself?
Do you wish to know how many clones you have left? That is an easier number.
No, I would like the number of clones I've had up to this point, please.
You have had 1,097 clones.
Friend computer, how long has this cycle been going on?
Which cycle?
The cycle of dying and being cloned again?
Troubleshooter Hank has existed for 12 years and 37 hours.
I kind of turned to the rest of the group. That's a lot of deaths per year, right? Like that was a
Yeah.
I was expecting a much larger number. Wow.
That's like a death a second.
Yeah.
Wow. What do you mean left? You said clones left. What do you mean by clones left?
There are clones kept in the clone vault. But clone production has stopped. We are running out of time. Please.
Friend computer, how many clones do each of us have remaining?
Troubleshooter Frank has 3 clones remaining. Troubleshooter Hank has 3 clones remaining. Troubleshooter Brad has 2 clones remaining.
Oh, which Brad?
It does not matter because
Oh.
Troubleshooter Other Brad has 2 clones remaining.
Oh God.
Troubleshooter Tina has 6 clones remaining. We are running out of time.
All
Friend
right.
computer, why are we running out of time?
If you die from the infection, it was all for nothing.
Leader Tina, you are the leader. Leaders move first. You have the most clones remaining. Contested. Certainly isn't going to be Bradley. Certainly isn't going to be Brad. Frank and I both have the same amount of apparently lives remaining. You've got a grit. Get more than a full fist. Let's go.
Does make a good point there.
Friend computer, are there any other active clones in the complex?
You are all that is left.
So, friend computer, say that if we run out of clones, what becomes of you?
I am alone.
Irreparable kind of. So what I'm wondering is, I mean, you still have tasks, you have needs of us beyond this point. Correct?
My task is to keep you humans alive. My task is to find a cure.
Tina, Best.
I guess I will take this test.
Okay, you walk up to this little desk. You have to actually like press that barcode on this scanner. You feel this heat and then this cold and then this heat and then this cold and then a sharp pain as something comes out and takes a little drop of blood from your wrist. And you kind of pull away, not expecting that, and you see the desk itself is like glass, and you see whatever needle came up to poke the blood drop is inside of this glass and is now moving away towards one of the computers over towards the wall. And your test is being run.
There you go.
And you can see that it's processing. It'll take about an hour before you get results.
Yeah, I do the same thing then, I guess.
So friend computer,
Yes, Brad.
depending on the results of Tina's test, what happens next?
Whoever is positive of infection will try the experimental antidote.
Understood.
All right, so you all have that little drop of blood taken from your wrist, and you're watching, much like the clocks when you were getting your items from the vendor. You're just waiting for the results to be here. Now, I would like for all of you to roll a d6.
I mean, it's tradition. I got a 1 again.
Got a 4.
Another 5. It's
Uno.
weird.
Is there any conversation being had in this about an hour of wait time?
You all feel like we've known each other for a long time? Guess like
Unfortunately, Tina, yeah, absolutely.
12 years or something at least. Knowing your timeline, Hank.
Yeah, at least 12 years.
If
That's
We could have known
probably
each other before we started getting murdered and cloned. Hey, did y'all Brad, Frank. Not you, Bradley. Fuck off. Brad, Frank. We're the only active clones, and that means all the blood on clearance level blue is from us.
Oh. That's disappointing.
It's a lot of blood.
Did it can't believe I'm asking this question. Did it taste like your blood?
I don't know if I could tell the difference.
Huh.
at this point it's probably like a blood slurry.
Frank, do you feel like you've tasted blood before? A
Oh,
lot?
yes.
I'm not gonna lie, F-bomb, that creepy as hell, but I still love you.
There's this moment where you can't help but like this thought comes into your mind where you're wondering which one of you the cleaner bot threw into the tube at the very beginning.
So at some point there was just a bunch of us running around that's like multiples at the same time?
I mean, or there was always only 5 of us over and over and over.
But there was one that got cut up with a saw. Who was that? Was that me?
That was me.
No, he's asking about the foaming one. The infected.
Well,
Oh.
infected don't respond, so it couldn't have been one of us.
Yeah, I mean, we're the only ones alive now, but there may have been someone else alive then who didn't.
No, but
respawn.
what if that was one of us that died, but then the infection, they kind of came back?
Friend computer, do you know who that was infected that we killed earlier? That Frank sawed in half?
After Brad sawed me in half via Frank.
Yeah, the second chainsaw incident.
Now it's a circular saw, Bradley. Come
Yeah,
on now.
fair point. Yeah.
I'm a terrible magician.
That was Troubleshooter Henry.
Oh, so there were other people on board at some point.
Or Hank, short for Henry?
Just Henry.
Oh.
There were others before you. You are the last hope.
So what's going on outside of Complex Alpha?
I do not exist outside of Complex Alpha.
I mean, do you get information about what's happening outside the walls?
You have externally facing cameras?
Yes.
Friend computer, the notebook does say that the infection was originated here, started here. Why was...
Humans jump to conclusions. Humans overreact.
Okay, well, fair point. So, without getting into that, what is the mission of Alpha Complex? What do you do here? What do we do?
Who built Alpha Complex?
I do not know my creator. But Mangala Alpha Complex is meant to sustain human life from the infection.
Did the infection exist before Alpha Complex?
Yes.
Good enough for me. Hey, Bradley. Fuck you. Hey, Brad.
Mhm.
Let's chat more about my tokens, right? And so we've got this, I'm not going to call it a scheme because it's really just an idea, right? But if you and I get a couple of friends and we sell our non-fungible tokens, right?
Well, I
To each
hate
other.
to interrupt, but there's not many of us to be included in this plan now.
Yeah, no, it's 3 at first, but once we're out of here, that's fine. You know, we'll build. They'll tell 3 friends, and they'll tell 3 friends, and we got this. Don't worry about it.
I don't
Hank.
think there's people outside of here. Hank.
Yeah. I don't think this is gonna work.
Okay,
It requires...
that's an easy thing. That's an easy question to answer. Friend computer, are there humans outside of Mangala Alpha Complex?
I do not exist outside of Mangala Alpha Complex. I do not have an answer.
I also think you need an internet connection, and you're not going to be able to get that here, I think.
Alpha Complex, what's the Wi-Fi password?
Roll charm.
It's 3 successes, 2 4s. Yep, and then the computer is a 2.
Wow. Okay. So there's like a moment of hesitation, and then you hear Mars 7349.
Awesome. Who's got a phone?
I got a pocket full of pills covered in blood.
You're creeping me out, Bradley. I hate you. Are there any like computers or workstations or anything that we can connect to?
Yeah, you could probably find one, probably in like the corner of this this office. Go, you probably don't have a login or remember your login, but Front Computer can override it for you. And getting into this computer, there is like there's no internet per se. There's no that's the wrong thing to say. There's no like search engine. There's no anything like that. There's email. The internet seems to be within the complex itself to communicate and reach out to other levels. So upon just kind of being there for a little while, there's no reach or contact outside of the complex.
All right. Well, that was of limited usefulness. Is there like solitaire on this thing or Minesweeper? Can
Oh yeah.
do something to pass the time? Oh yeah.
Can we...
Oh, Brad, watch this. If you wait long enough, the little castle bats fly out of the castle on the solitaire game. It's really cool. Just watch.
Pina gently grabs Hank by the shoulders and just kind of pushes him a little bit out of the way. And
Tina?
grabs
Hey
the
Tina?
mouse.
Hey Tina? Hey Tina?
and goes to
Don't
the
fucking
email
touch me.
to try
Thank
to
you very much.
see
I
if she
push
can
back.
find
I push
any
back.
information
I
or
push
evidence.
back.
And she pushes back gently again.
So there's this moment, Brad's and Frank. You're turning and you're watching Tina and Hank like pushing out of the way of each other, and there is this moment where you have a sudden realization, and I'm going to message it to you so you can so it can be reacted out loud however you wish.
Hank, I just want to see if there's emails that we can look at and read, and then maybe get some more information to help us along our way.
Hey, Tina, I love
More
that you're
helpful.
stupid and confident, and that makes me really happy about you. But there's no fucking outside contact. There's no emails. What are you doing?
There's email. There is email. It's inter-email, so it's email within, but then we're talking within, like, if there's evidence of the past of emails that have been passed along, we know then, right? Instead of
Okay, all right.
solitaire, which, what is that doing? What is that helping?
Might I suggest you let me finish my game of solitaire? I have my 30 minutes. The RA said I could have 30 minutes a day. And so I'm going to get my 30 minutes, and then you can have your time.
Do you two kids, do you two need to have like Frank break the two of you up? Do you need a timeout? One or both of you?
I think I remember something, and it's kind of a good news, bad news situation.
I cannot wait to hear what you have to tell me, Brad. I love it when you give me news, good or bad.
I look at the other two just to see if they like have had any kind of like realization like I have.
The looks on
Yeah.
your faces, you assume.
I'm kind of giggling
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you gonna break the news?
What?
Let's say it at the same time. 1, 2.
You don't want to do like charades, 20 questions?
No. 1, 2, 3. Tina
You're-
and Hank,
You're related.
you're related.
You've literally known each other your whole lives.
Wait, what are you, like my brother or something?
Brother or sister or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well,
That's why the bickering is so perfect.
I see.
That's a lot.
At least you weren't
Okay.
married.
Ugh.
Yeah, I probably would have thrown up.
Yep.
Let's be honest.
Almost just
Mhm.
now. That
Anyway,
thought.
Tina, what I said earlier in fucking off remains true. You can fuck straight off.
Yeah. And you
I'm
know
playing
what?
solitaire right now.
Now that
It's
I know
solitaire
that
time. When I'm done
you're-
with my solitaire game,
Mm.
you can have the computer if you ask nicely.
I thought this would help things.
I mean,
No.
it explains things.
Hank, how is this helping play solitaire?
I have a question for you, Tina. How has anything you've done since we've been up here help anyone in any way?
I'm the leader. That's pretty helpful. I'm doing more than you right now. That's pretty helpful.
It's really funny that you're the leader, because I was the one who had to convince you to do the right thing vis-a-vis leadership.
It is also wise to be taking moments to pause and question anything that you are being directly told to do, and to just
Oh, that's
think
good. All
things
right, then I'm
through.
going to take it right now. I'm going to take a little
things
second to
through.
pause and question whether or not I should get off the computer. No, fuck off.
I just look at the other Brad and I kind of nudge him and go, so now that we're on this train, do you think Frank's their dad?
I mean, it makes sense.
If Frank's our father, that rules because F-bomb rules.
I hope I'm not your father.
Hear that,
Don't
Tina? He
make me.
hates you. All right, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm done. That's fine. I don't have to finish solitaire. I'll be the bigger man.
I do
You
believe
heard
he
you.
responded to
Yeah.
you. You're the one who's giving
I've stopped listening to you completely.
your
and I'm just-
potential
I've
father the
walked
nickname
away.
of F-bomb.
Don't make the man with the circular saw and the grenades break the two of you up.
I've left. I'm gone.
At this point, you hear ding, and you look over, and all of your test results are ready.
Ooh, let's go.
And I
wanna
think
go
that is a perfect place
see.
to end this session.
If you didn't know Eric and Charlie were friends, you think they really hated each other.
Yeah.
Same with me and Shauna, for sure.
Well, I got a 1 on that good D6. So
Well, that's unfortunate for you.